Hi, I'm Dave Cut, and you're watching another Comic Chat. What up, guys? Back again today with another great comic, Deadpool number 1000. And this is actually a bunch of short mini stories that we'll be going through, starting off with Luck Be a Lady. With slot machines, buffets, and enough blubber to keep an Eskimo village fed for a lifetime, this place makes Atlantic City look like Buckingham Palace. Welcome to Reno, Nevada, the biggest little city in the world. A roll of the dice, the turn of a card, the pull of a handle can change your life forever. Some call it gambling, others chance, but most call it luck. And that I've got in spades. So why am I in this white trash emporium of hell? Because I can score here, and I can score anywhere. All I need now is a high roller. As we see a lady in red walking up to Deadpool as he sings, "You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em." Deadpool offers her a seat, and right off the bat, she instantly recognizes him as Deadpool, the merc with the mouth, and she introduces herself as Desire. As Deadpool gets back to his game of poker with a guy named Dong, the lady in red tells Deadpool that she's fluent in 5 languages and she can put her ankles behind her ears. She starts to see that Deadpool really has no idea what he's doing gambling, but Deadpool just tells her it's not really his thing, but he thought he could get by with some good old-fashioned bluffing. And Deadpool tries to hurry things along because he doesn't want to miss Carrot Top's show. She tells him he's about to lose a lot of money, but he says he doesn't care because it's not his. That's when she realizes that he's not here to play. He's here to work. But she wants to know who the hit is. And he asks, how hot is that making her? And she says, Human Torch hot. And he jokes and says, my thing likes to hear that. So she comes up with the deal for him, a little wager. But the last bet that Deadpool lost, he had to streak through the Avengers mansion with nothing on but a Santa cap. And to this day, Luke Cage won't look him in the eye. So she's going to guess who the hit is. And if she's right, then she gets half of Deadpool's chips. So she starts with the first guy, Mike the Wizard White. Plays hard on the table, and even harder in real life. Likes his booze and underage girls. Covered up an abortion by a 15-year-old he knocked up in Atlantic City 2 years ago. Then the girl disappeared. And Deadpool's surprised that she actually knows so much about him, and she just says it's part of her job, but doesn't tell what her job is, as she moves on to the next one. Blanche Sitsnitsky, aka Anaconda. Ex-member of the Serpent Society. She had her butt handed to her by everyone. Even Jack Flag smacked her around. So after the Secret Wars, she turned whatever notoriety she had into poker stardom. And even though that in itself isn't a crime, she does run an illegal underwater animal fight ring, like sharks against whales, octopus versus dolphins. She's the Michael Vick of the SeaWorld. And then finally, she moves on to Dong Parks. American born, but only a generation removed. Starting young, credit card scams, stealing calling cards, etc. Enough to get the attention of the Korean Killers street gang. There, he learned the prostitution trade, drugs, and gambling. The cigarette burns on the back of his hand indicates he's an active gang member. It's a symbol of his pain. But in the end, she chooses the wizard. And Deadpool says the survey is... Bzz. You're right, that Mike likes to drink. But that's because he lost his wife in a car accident 2 years ago. As for the teenage girl who had an abortion, she was his niece, and he did not actually get her pregnant. He saved her life. She's now attending Arizona State on his coin. And the lady in red says, how about double or nothing? And Deadpool tells her, well, he's feeling lucky, so she goes with the Anaconda. And he says, strike 2. Anaconda might be an ex-bad girl, but that illegal SeaWorld cage fight scam you accused her of is actually a new Australian reality show, with all proceeds going to save a Great Barrier Reef. The only crime Anaconda is guilty of is being a bleach queen. As the lady in red is stunned, she says, but Dong seemed too obvious. Deadpool tells her that's because he is. Dong ain't no gangster. He actually owns a Korean barbecue spot in Bakersfield. The kalbi is to die for. That explains the burn marks on his hands. He comes up here on the weekends for an escape from his mundane life. As the lady in red is even more confused because it's none of them, Deadpool interrupts her and says, Jennifer Desire Timony, aka the lady in red. Her scam was untraceable for years. Used her sexuality to get close to high rollers. After the game, she'd act like a black widow spider, poisoning them and taking all their money. Her body count stretches over 4 continents, but it ends now. As he says, I'm all in, pulls out a sword and stabs her in the back. And that be the luck of a lady. Thanks for tuning in for this short story, guys. Till next time.